Welcome to the Legal Tech League, the official podcast of ILTA's first sanctioned fantasy football league, hosted by Adam Whaler and Cheryl Wilson Griffin.
Welcome to this post-week 9 fantasy football podcast. Myself and Cheryl here for your pleasure. Cheryl, how you doing?
I'm good. I just came into New York from Atlanta for the LTH and EY Data Enablement and Gen AI conference tomorrow. So a little car sick because somehow the taxis always get me car sick here.
Well, they drive offensively, which is the only town that you should drive offensively in. So it's crazy. Before we get too far, today's sponsor, we worked very hard. We lost some sponsors. That's why we've been working hard to get them. Today's sponsor is Log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's Log. It's better than bad. It's good. And let me hold on. Everybody wants a Log. You got to buy it.
Oh my gosh. Yes, thanks to the folks at Log.
Thank you to the folks at Log for today's sponsorship. One fun thing what's one fun thing that you learned this week in the fantasy football world?
Yeah, so I think, it's not a learning, it's more of a new theoretical development. So as everyone knows, the tight ends have been completely useless up until about 2 weeks ago. And so I started having this thought, and I'm like, Cheryl, I feel like you've had this revelation once before. You should write it down, perhaps, or do some analysis. But I'm pretty sure that tight ends suck every year, like week 1 through 6-ish. And the reason is everyone else is healthy, so they're blocking. So, the running backs are healthy, the receivers are all healthy, they're blocking. By week like 8 or 9, everybody's got injuries. It's inevitable. And that's when the tight ends come out of blocking mode. This is my theory. I bet there's data to back it up.
Okay. I love it. So, next season, what we need to focus on is basically not even dealing with tight ends until week 9 or 10, which is crazy because, one of the things that we wanted to bring up is there are only 4 weeks left of the regular season. There are 8 possible wins for everybody out there. I urge you to pay attention. It's kind of crazy. You want to touch on the playoff standings right now if the season ended today in the NFC?
Yes. Well, they're quite sexy to me because I still am in the mix. So good old Walker Bice, which we never figured out if it's Bice or BJ, but we're calling it Bice now. Number 1, 17-1. That's going to be hard to catch. So feels cemented.
I think they're locked in the playoffs. I could agree with you there.
That's a lock. Yeah. Pretty good point total too, 1470. It's not too bad. The other thing I noticed is that he has a crown on his head. So if you look at the league standings, the top 3 all have different size crowns. I thought it was a nice touch. So well done, sir. Then we have Perfectly Blitz at the 14-4 in the number 2 spot. Team Law Firm has moved into the number 3 spot in the NFC, although they're also tied with this other great team called Urban AI. I'm just saying, there's a lot going on here. But I think we were just looking at the standings. Oh, I just noticed. Ooh, it gives you a line of who's on the bubble for the playoffs. I did not notice that before. So who would not make the playoffs today if things ended today? That would be the Lady Johnsons, the Team Bulldozers, Team Samanti, and J. Matthew 7. So there's still time. But you're going to need to move. There is,
but time's running out. I mean, it's kind of cool that J. Matthew 7 is still technically mathematically alive. And sorry if that term is triggering over the past 48 hours, but
Yikes.
They are mathematically alive. They pull off 8 wins, get to 8-16. anything's possible. And so I urge you to keep checking your lineup. I urge you to keep, doing that. On the AFC side, it's really, really interesting. Literally everybody is still in it, and nobody has clinched. Joe Buck yourself is sitting at 15-3 in the number 1 spot, but the number 8 spot is 8-10. That is
Wow.
definitely, things can happen. You go on a losing streak, you get that. But the really interesting thing is that Heavenly Tigers is 6-12, only 2 games out of the playoffs right now.
Wow.
And they're sitting in the 11th spot. So it's kind of been a little, crush each other type of a league over on the AFC, kind of beat each other up. SDS Sports is there at 3-15. Again, 8 wins. You are 11-15. That might be able to do it if things break the right way. So this is really cool that in both leagues, everybody's still alive for the playoffs with 4 weeks left. Focus on your lineups and go from there, and fun stuff.
What about in NFL? Anything jump out at you in the NFL last week?
The amount of points scored,
Right.
by fantasy players. It seems like everybody decided to score a ton of points, which is nuts. In the NFC, we had a defense score 34 points, which technically definitely beat the best running back of the week and almost beat the best quarterback of the week. The San Diego Chargers had a day. So
did the Lions defense. Yeah, Lions defense had 33. Totally crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I always shout out a perfect lineup. Brian 808 on the AFC side had a perfect lineup and unfortunately played me and scored 186 points and had a day. So great for Brian 808. And the funny thing is, I feel so bad. He's one of those teams that has the most points for and the most points against. And so it's just one of those weeks where every time there's a shootout. How about on the NFC side? What'd you see?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things. I mean, I think Jordan Love coming back and finally lighting things up at 34 points for Volcano Man, pretty amazing. I thought he might be kind of slow the whole season, so that might be a sign to come. We'll see. I think too, and Krista Johnson's team, she played C. Komet, the tight end, who had 21 points, which is a nice thing to wake up to after that game gets over with. So again, tight ends hot. So very sexy play going on. But like you said, completely bonkers scores. I mean, almost all the top scores are nearly 30 points. It's unheard of.
Yeah. Yeah, the player I'm getting tired of is Kyler Murray with the Arizona Cardinals. I was so bullish off of him, and to have your team score 28 points and win, and you literally went 13 for 20 and 154 yards and lost a fumble. I mean, my mind exploded. So I'm getting tired of him.
I mean, that's how I feel about everything going on with Miami. I'm just Tua's back. He had the one great game, and now it's just back to whatever the garbage is. My Tyreek Hill pick is looking very sad right now because he's apparently emotionally handicapped at this point. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, neither do I. I'd like to point out, because the NFL likes money, that we have a game in Munich this weekend. For those of you keeping keeping tabs. The NFL has been in Brazil, in England, and now we'll be in Munich this weekend. For those of you excited for that game, I wish you luck. It's the Giants and the Panthers. So
Yikes.
have a day.
It feels like the message is play the Giants defense, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Poor-
maybe.
The poor Panthers have been getting beat up like gangbusters.
Mm-hmm,
They
mm-hmm.
squeak it
Yeah.
out. They get they make it respectable in the end, but they've not been pretty to watch.
No, they really haven't.
Yeah, this
Real
is
quick
a
there.
week of mismatches too, just like play NFL wise
Yeah.
even. Like it's a lot of like lopsided matchups. Like
Right,
Bills and
right.
Colts,
No,
that'll be interesting to see.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. One of the things I do want to point out is for all you Christian McCaffrey managers with all the injuries happening, he will be back this week. So we got some news that he will be playing. Who knows how much, but he will be playing.
Is he allowed to like go in a hot tub or do anything, or is he on like bed rest only at this point? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Such a rough start.
Yeah, it was a rough start. It was a rough start. So anyways, real quick to remind everybody about the playoff format, it's going to be the normal playoff format. It's going to go week 14 through 16. You're going to have a winner of the NFC. You're going to have a winner of the AFC. And those two teams are going to then get in contact with me and Cheryl, be able to set lineups, and we will keep track of the championship from there. So we appreciate you all playing. This has been a fun season.
It certainly has, and it's been a welcome distraction from what has been a weird year in general. It just seems like everybody's 10 times busier than average. Like,
yeah,
it's like life came back to real speed.
Yes, exactly. And as we close out these last 4 weeks, and again, get into the playoffs, please reach out to us. Let us know what you loved about the league this year, what you hated about the league this year. We want to bring it back next year. We want to do it again, and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. This was so much fun, and I think it'll only grow next year. So give us your feedback.
Yes, that's excellent. And again, I want to give a shout out to Log, being our sponsor today. Again, everybody when they buy a Log has to do the happy joy dance, and it's a good time. So
if you haven't watched,
Cheryl,
there's a documentary on Ren and Stimpy that is very, very enlightening, especially for people our age who were maybe younger when that came out, to like see what was going on behind the scenes. Watch it. It's amazing.
Okay. Now I'm hooked, because that show was literally something my parents hated me watching, and
every parent
made
did,
me want to watch it more.
Oh, it was so gross.
Glorious.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Have a wonderful week, everybody. Enjoy yourself, and again, go out and make somebody feel good.
Be excellent to each other, as Bill and Ted said.
Yeah, love it.
Love it. All right, thanks, guys.